Welcome back, people. Liverpool 5, Tottenham 1, and an absolute shambles of a performance, an absolute shambles of a day, and there was no sense of anything, sense of pride, sense of footballing ability. It was actually one of the worst and hardest 90 minutes that I've had to sit through. Like, Liverpool go, 2-1 up and 3-1 up, fairly early in that first half. Was it 25, 30 minutes or something? And pretty much Spurs showed no signs of anything being able to get back into that game. And yeah, we know like going away to Liverpool is hard at the best of times, but when you make so many changes and when Liverpool are literally a point away from a title and the stands are in party mode, it's going to be even harder. But I just thought it was a severe lack of effort and fight from each and every individual player on that pitch today. And you're looking at players like Archie Gray, who are clearly out of their depth playing in midfield. He made a really big mistake to let Liverpool back in the game after we did, I think it was the 2-1 goal. But after you go 1-0 up, you expect to show a bit of like pride and a bit of fight to stay in the game. It's always going to be hard. Even if you go 1-0 up, you don't expect to win at Anfield. But I just thought like it was a bit of an embarrassment today, like just the way that we handled ourselves.
It was a massive embarrassment, the performance. There's no getting away from it. We were a shambles from I wouldn't say from start to finish, because the first 10 minutes was decent, but obviously we got the goal and thought maybe, are we going to pull off a shock here? We were thinking, are we going to pull off a shock here? Is something going to happen? But very quickly we were reminded of how this season has gone and what we've been watching. Because I think the lead lasted 2 minutes, 3 minutes before they equalised, and then it was pretty much as you were. Normal service resumed. Mistakes at the back, punished by clinical finishing, open, terrible lack of quality, lack of fight. Just that third goal. Gakpo is in the box and from a corner, he's allowed to take 2-3 touches. No one busting a gut to close him down. No one putting their body on the line. It was a shambles. It was pretty disgusting, to be honest. Second half, you could see we'd completely given up. We weren't even trying to go forward. We were just lumping it forward and asking Van Dijk and Konate to pick up the loose balls and just inviting pressure. Obviously, one of our only attacks of that half was from where the fourth goal came from, or the fifth, I can't even remember which goal, but one of the goals, I think Salah's goal, where Decky has a chance to shoot, he dawdles on it, his shot gets blocked, and they counter and they score. And that's also been a story of Tottenham season, where you have an attack and we get pounced on ruthlessly, and that's happened time after time. It's happened again today. Liverpool were so many levels above us. It was so easy for them today, so easy. They couldn't have asked for a better opponent to face when they want to win the title. Literally, I think if they could have hand-picked an opponent, it might have been Spurs, I think, looking at that game and how easy it was. They had chance after chance, they were battering, and we just couldn't lay a glove on them. We couldn't really create anything. I know we scored a goal from a corner, obviously a good header from Solanke, but other than that, I don't remember anything we did really in that game to really put Liverpool under pressure or hurt them. Obviously, we made changes at half time. We made changes on the hour. Nothing changed. It was the same level of performance. Obviously, judging by the lineup, you can see where the focus was on. We all know going into this game that the changes were going to have to be wrong. It was going to be a much changed side because Thursday is what's important. But to be defeated like that and have that level of performance obviously leaves a horrible taste in your mouth for watching that.
And it's not okay. Like, just because we're so far down in the league and we've only got Europa League left to play for, it's not okay. Like to show that kind of level of fight and that level of passion for the badge that you're playing for. Fans have travelled up there to watch that absolute dross. And it's happened way too often this season. You look at Manchester United today; they've also got nothing to play for. But I was watching that game and they were fighting tooth and nail to get back in that game. And they ended up with a 1-1 draw away at Bournemouth. I know away at Bournemouth is nothing like going to Anfield, but we've conceded 6 to them at home this season. 2 lots of 4 this season as well. We've conceded 4 away at Anfield the last 4 times we've been there. We just go there and literally say, you know what, there's no chance we're going to do anything in this game. So we'll just show you what everyone thinks that we are, and that is total crap. and a team that lacks identity and lacks fight and pretty much lacks all the fundamentals to go to a stadium like that and actually put on a show or put on a fight. And, you know, Andrew always says, oh, aren't you entertained? Aren't you entertained? Well, who's entertained after that? Seriously, like, everyone always goes on about, like, oh, it's all just on Europa League. But what about the games in between? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, how can we play? Those 11 players on the pitch are not bad players, like, man for man. Why do they not care? That's what it seemed like on the pitch. They just had no sort of plan or no sort of belief that they could do anything in the game, and it just showed. Like, it's just not right, man. Like, these players get paid so much week in, week out to play for this football club, and that's the kind of dross that they put out. Like, I wouldn't mind losing if we go down fighting, but there was just no fight whatsoever.
These players should be docked a week's wages. They should give fans a refund who travelled up to Anfield, because we pretty much didn't turn up whatsoever. We didn't give a shit, basically, from what I could see. And there have been defeats this season where, you know, you could say the players were trying and whatever, like on against Forest, you could see the players were giving everything. I can't say that after that game. I cannot say that whatsoever. It seems like the players stopped running. They stopped doing anything. It was almost as if they wanted to give Liverpool that win. It's almost as if like they had no desire to try and get back in that game, or to even look like they want to get back in that game, to even look like they're trying. It was a disgraceful showing, disgraceful performance, and it's one that I think fans should rightly be angry about, just regardless of the changes, regardless of the focus being on Thursday, which inevitably it will be. You can't allow those kind of performances to be acceptable, regardless of the situation we're in. I completely agree, and that was a completely unacceptable performance. And I don't want to hear Ange after the game saying, "Oh, you know, you can see the players are trying," because I couldn't see that personally. I couldn't see that on the pitch today, and it looked like they had completely given up, and looked like they wanted that game to be over as soon as we conceded a goal. Essentially,
like, as soon as the second half started as well, like, all we were doing was lumping it forward and waiting for it to come back. That is literally our game plan, was lump it forward, wait for it to come back, lump it forward, wait for it to come back. Like, there was no like specific game plan to try and get back into that game, or to try and take the game to them, or anything. Like, at least in previous times where we've got battered, you know, we've seen a bit of a rally towards the end. There was none of that today. Like, it literally, I was sitting here watching the game, couldn't wait for the game to end. It felt like that was the same for the players as well. Pretty much from halfway through the first half, the players just were dying for that game to end, from going 2-1 down. And it's like the amount these guys get played is stealing a living playing like that. It's a joke.
Yeah, I think it should be well, you know, I would say they should apologise, but I don't know if I want to hear yet another apology from any of these players, because they apologise so often this season for bad performances and all this kind of stuff. And today's another example of it. It's just shocking, shambles. No excuse for that kind of performance. And there's one thing, getting beat at Anfield happens. We get beat there a lot. It's nothing new for us. But to be beaten in that manner, and how bad it was, is difficult to find any kind of positive about. It was just absolutely disgraceful what happened on the pitch today.
Yeah. And on top of that, you know, you're breaking pretty much every unwanted record that there is to break this season, and that one is our 19th loss of the season, most ever in the Premier League era, which is, as much as I hear it when we get his saying 17 losses, 18 losses, now it's 19, literally the most ever, and a lot more still to come in, well, at least one or two more left to come in the 4 games that we have left to play. And you're thinking about how bad we were in the 90s, you know, under Jerry Francis and Christian Gross and the Ozzy Ardiles era and everything like that. I can't believe we're sitting here in 2025 with 19 losses to date in the Premier League and still with 4 games left to play. I just can't believe it. It's actually just boggles my mind how we're sitting here in 2025 with 19 losses. It's an absolute joke. In this new brand spanking new stadium that was supposed to take us onto the next level, 19 losses.
Well, it's a different level, all right. Yeah, I mean, and with the games we've got coming up, obviously they're not easy games, but regardless of that, we're going to be resting players. We're going to be changing the team. The focus isn't going to be on these Premier League games because we got a European semi-final to think about. So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure there are going to be more losses coming up in these next 4 Premier League games for sure.
Yeah, but having focus on the Europa League is not an excuse to keep losing like this. It's really not an excuse. Why is it an excuse for us but not for any other team? Like, all the other teams seem to show fight and get points in between European games. Why can't we?
Because we can't.
Because we're crap, that's why. And we're sitting here being like the worst Premier League campaign of all time. This cannot be accepted by anyone. This cannot be. And this manager needs to go at the end of the season. I can't keep going through like this. Like, win or lose the Europa League, I don't care. This guy with this record to his name, there's no chance he can be here next season.
Some fans would say he doesn't deserve Thursday.
Look, regardless whether you think he deserves Thursday, he's going to be here Thursday. That's the truth of the matter. There's no chance he's going to be sacked from now until Thursday.
Would you sack him before Thursday?
Would I sack him before Thursday? I probably wouldn't. I would keep him till the end of the season, but he can't stay here past this season. There is no chance he can stay here past this season, win or lose the Europa League. It's just, how can you provide the worst ever Premier League campaign, literally, ever, and still stay in a job?
Because if he wins the European trophy, that's also something we haven't done in 40 years.
I don't care. You're supposed to be judged on your league. That's supposed to be your bread and butter, and that's supposed to be the real judge of where you are as a football club. You know, the reality is, you're looking at the Europa League. You know, you can win a trophy by luck sometimes. You can get through these games. To date, Frankfurt are pretty much the only good side that we've got through. And credit to him and credit to the team for getting through that tie. Nothing else has been overly impressive to get to this stage. That is the truth of the matter. When you're looking at the season as a whole, right here, right now, 19 losses, the worst Premier League campaign of all time, he's got to go.
And he will go, depending on whether we win the Europa League or not. He will be sacked, and he will deserve to be sacked. Even if we win it, there's a very good case that he will deserve to be sacked. But if he does win that Europa League and he breaks the trophy drought and he brings us our first European trophy for 40 years and he gets us into the Champions League, then maybe there is something still here, I would say.
Nah.
If he can get that out of this squad, I would say so. But right now, after each defeat, we're going to feel more pain after these defeats, probably in the Premier League, because we're playing badly. It's tough to watch. I don't like watching it. I don't like watching what I saw today. That's for sure. Today was a disgrace, and the players and the manager should be held accountable for that 100%, and they should be held accountable for what's happened this season. This season's been a disaster, but it might not be if we win that Europa League.
Well, when you're looking at just the Premier League, forget the Europa League now. There's no ways to worm your way past that, because it's the worst Premier League campaign on record. And look, if we win the Europa League, credit to him, but he still needs to go, in my opinion, because this can't fly with this football club. He can't produce this level of results and still stay in a job.
That's fair enough. And I think that's a fair opinion to have. I think.
Oh, thank you.
Huh? You're welcome. That's an opinion a lot of Spurs fans probably hold. But I think, for me personally, if we were to win that Europa League, that would, I think, considering the where this club is and where the direction we've been going in, especially the last 5 seasons, and the lack of kind of any sort of success or anything in the trophy cabinet for so long, and the fact that every manager seems to have these same issues at this football club, and then all of a sudden we bring in a manager who, yes, is going to be most likely looking over our worst Premier League season, but every single manager seems to hit a buffer after this kind of point, these 2 years. Yes, it's never been this bad, but he'd also do something, as much as it's never been this bad under any other manager in the league, if he does manage to to get a European trophy out of it. He's also done something that no other manager in the Premier League has also done. So it goes both ways, in my opinion, if you're going to look at it like that. And I think he would have potentially deserved another shot if he gets that trophy over the line. But
getting that trophy over the line, all it is papering over the cracks of what a terrible, how terribly he's managed the team this season. That's all it does. And it'll be great, and it'll be a great day out, and we're all going to remember that for the rest of our lives, bring home a European trophy, and it's going to be incredible. But this manager is not right for Spurs. He's not right for Spurs. And if you can't, week in, week out, the management has been so terrible this whole season. It's so terrible this whole season. And if he wins it, thank you very much, but bye-bye. Like, there's just nothing. There's nothing here for him. And there's nothing that he can do for us. Once he wins that Europa League, please God he wins that Europa League. And that's it. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Nothing he can do for us but potentially win a European trophy.
Yeah. And after he does that, if he does do that, if he can do that.
Is that not something?
Then that'll be it.
All right. Well, fair enough.
All right. We'll see. That is our instant match reaction.